No worry.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. I'd like to thank the Honourable Minister for her ministerial statement, but with due respect, instead of her concentrating on the FEG, she started casting a session on Honourable Biman Prasad. Only she should have concentrated on what she's supposed to talk about this morning, FEG, but she has digressed, and go everywhere, meandering all over the place. And that's why we do not know how to respond to a ministerial statement. Mr. Speaker, sir, in her statement, she mentioned about the handbook, which is a good initiative by the Ministry of Education. But that handbook alone cannot work by itself. It has to be taken out to the schools, especially for school management to be trained to know, especially on the acquittal of funds, especially on FEG, because when it comes to the release of these funds, it takes quite a while for these funds to reach the schools. Take into consideration, Mr. Speaker, sir, the location of these schools. Some are maritime schools, rural schools, and the reachable is very difficult. So in that regard, the ministry should be more affordable in terms of getting to these schools to know what they should do in terms of I'm very concerned about the release, and especially on the allocation funds on the student population. The distribution of grants depends on the number of student population, which is what has been introduced in those years when the SVT government introduced this idea, and now taken on board by the 51st government. And it is an initiative that has been here from those years until now. But the issue here, Mr. Speaker, sir, is how it is distributed. Because in some schools, like the Honourable Minister has mentioned, the number of students will depend on the amount of grant that is given to them. And this unequal distribution is not very good. Take, for example, a school like a remote school in Itasiri and a remote school or a town school. The disparity is there because of the number of student population. There should be a formula. They should work out a formula so that equal distribution of these grants reach the school. Because of the schools, some of them are very, in terms of the school buildings, IT, electricity, they need these grants. And the smaller the grants, the amount of work that the school will do will not help them in terms of moving forward. And the other issue, Mr. Speaker, sir, I would like to raise here is the condition of government schools in terms of the school buildings. There is a need for Ministry of Education to look more into this. We'll look at RKS, we'll look at QVS, ACS. They need more rehabilitation in terms of the school buildings because they are falling into pieces, and I'm sure the ministry, with the funds available and at 50, they could use some of that to rehabilitate some of the schools there. And on another note, Mr. Speaker, I would like to ask the Prime Minister, where is school zoning? Where is it now? Is it in force, or has it died, or what has happened to it? There needs to be some information coming from the Honourable Minister on how the school zoning is monitored. And just yesterday, Mr. Speaker, the Honourable Minister spoke at length about RKS. That should have come in a ministerial statement instead of wasting a lot of question time. And that should come up so that everybody and everyone, and even the nation, should know what is happening at RKS, so that people will know, and at least some work done to make sure that the students go back to RKS, and it shouldn't good. And the government is saying that all children have the right to education because of free education, and whether they pass or fail, they still go up to higher levels. There is no quality of education there, Mr. Speaker, sir. And what is the ministry doing about this? Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
I thank the honourable member for his statement.